Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
We're talking about how society turned black women against black men. Now, with this video, Corey is actually going to be short-winded. This video is only a few minutes long. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to hit play. I haven't watched this, so we're going to go full authentic, right? But we're just going to hit play on it. I'm going to let it run through the first time. It's 3 minutes and it's some change. I'm going to let it run through the first time, and then we're going to go back through it and digest it and dissect it, and I'll give my feedback on it as well. All right, so let's roll.
You cannot don't get it twisted. God damn it. Most women only bring unsolicited opinions to the table. It's emotion.
Right.
You cannot lead off emotions. There's so many women that I first start fucking with them. I got to break them. As they talking, I'll be like, And I done had them look at me like I was the devil. I mean, like, I don't think I'll be able to fix this. I'm still getting your 200 for the pussy, but I don't think we can fix that, man. Look at that. There's something sister say. Sister April. What does Sister April say? A black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. I like that. And not just because she says something about a man.
Yeah.
I'm saying like a black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. That's deep.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know too many sisters that have made the dad a villain.
Man.
What do we do about this? Sisters, why do we, if you see a black man with a woman from another race, I'm saying starting in 2025, how can you knock him? I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you see a man, we talked about the Jimmy Carter funeral shit. Michelle Obama.
You know what? I'm going to call an audible. We almost 2 minutes in. I was going to let it run all the way through, but he on his A game today. His points are being made. He's being precise. He's being concise. So we're going to pause play. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, and we're going to chime in and say what we got to say. But Corey Holcomb, he in his bag right now. Let's go.
It twisted. God damn it. Most women only bring unsolicited opinions to the table. It's emotion.
Right.
You cannot lead off emotions. There's so many women that I first start fucking with them. I got to break them. As they talking, I'll be like,
Yeah, I see where he coming from. Corey a comedian, and so he gonna put some sauce on it, right? He gonna add his own comedic flavor to it. But I see where he's coming from in regards to this, in regards to having to break them, because oftentimes I have to have conversations with the women I deal with, you know, because they're often American or Americanized, and we have to have a conversation in regards to just the fact that I have a level of understanding as to the why most American sisters have some of the masculine, you know, proclivities that they have. And so once they know that you have some empathy and you understand the why, it really becomes a conversation about, are you willing to work on it though? Or are you kind of like on some, this how I am, and you just need to be ultra strong to handle how soft I am not? If you a sister that want a man that's going to handle how soft you are not, you aren't the woman for me, right? But if you a queen that say, you know what, I realize that due to said circumstantial and environmental things, you know, I realize that not only myself, but a lot of us American women are a bit more masculine than we even admittedly would like to be. And I do have a mind and a heart and a desire to work on it. Now we cooking with hot grease. We can get somewhere with that, right? But it is going to require some checking, like he said, in his own way. Right? Because you said you wanted to get better at following. Let me lead. And a lot of that requires a lot less chiming in. That's the thing about a lot of women that desire partnership instead of a traditional husband-wife dynamic, is because they want to chime in. They want a voice too, or they want, you know, a higher level of consideration than the traditional model may provide. And so there's this mesh point that gets tricky for a lot of people in the dating world. Let's continue.
And I done had them look at me like I was the devil. I mean, like, I don't think I'll be able to fix this. I'm still giving you 200 for the pussy, but I don't think we can fix that, man.
Yeah,
look at that.
They got to be pliable. When you go to check them, they're resistant to being checked. You may not have one that's pliable. Nobody is expecting for an American woman to show up perfect already, ready, movie and ready. Nor should the woman expect that from the man, especially depending on what age and space y'all dating in. Those would be radical expectations, right? However, a mind, a desire, and some habits that coincide with growth and heading in the right direction, we can get with that. That's a train that a sister should be willing to get on. If you're a brother heading in the right direction, or if you had that conversation with that sister, y'all dating and you going through your vetting process and you see that she understands her areas of opportunity, y'all have an opportunity. That's what I say. Let's go though.
There's something a sister say. Sister April. What does Sister April say? A black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. I like that. And not just because she said something about a man.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, a black woman's job is to raise her black daughters to see her supporting their black father. That's deep.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know too many sisters that have made the dad a villain.
Man.
What do we do about this? Sisters, why do we, if you see a black man with a woman from another race, I'm saying starting in 2025, how can you knock him? I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, if you see a man, we talked about Jimmy Carter.
Let me chime in on Corey's question, because I believe his question was rhetorical, but I want to answer it. He said, if you see a black man in 2025 with a sister of another race, how can you knock him? You know, that was his question. I believe it was rhetorical, but I'd like to answer it. Here's the thing that we have to realize as men. Women oftentimes don't date themselves. They don't date themselves, right? So you have experiences with black woman, black woman, black woman, black woman. You have these experiences of intimately, romantically dating sisters. These sisters never dated a sister. They've never put themselves on the outside looking in. They don't have an experience of dating themselves. So you have to understand that they don't understand. So of course they're going to see a black man with a non-black woman and outwardly express whatever resentment they may have, because there's a level of empathy that isn't there. You can say for good reason, or you could say, you know, listen more, because we'll explain our experiences. We'll tell you what the average black man's experience with the average black woman is. Whether or not they're inclined to believe that that's the case, that's a different conversation, right? But for me to respond to Corey, the reason why black women can see a black man with a non-black woman and harbor some level of resentment is because they don't understand the experience that you get on average. Because I will say this, most black men that end up with a non-black woman, it's by default. They wanted a sister. They wanted a black woman. They ended up because this is the woman that they ran into that appreciated them the way that they wanted to be appreciated. This is the woman that they ran into that catered and nurtured the way they wanted, that accepted and embraced their leadership, and that admired them, right? And she so happened to be whatever ethnicity that is, that happens to be non-black. But best believe what he found in her, more than likely, he looked for in a sister first, for sure.
Funeral shit. Michelle Obama, where she can go speak, she's there. But where she's supposed to have a seat and hold down the ex-president of the United States, she's not there. She would probably say she's the reason Barack got popularity or whatever. It's like, who are you? Why am I wasting my time building with you? I am fucking up my time on this planet sleeping with the enemy. They have done the job to turn you against us. They have done the job. on the internet over a presidency vote where it was proven that most black men voted for the girl Kamala Harris anyway. They would, the way they talked about us, and I'm not talking about every woman. I'm just talking about the average bitch sitting around doing nothing but running her mouth. And that I ain't talking about just working a job. I'm talking about if you look at these women and their history with men, you will see hatred toward men. And it was all orchestrated by the people who brought you here and made you build this country for nothing.
Damn.
I can't say.
Damn. That's heavy, champ. That's heavy, champ. Corey just said something, man. I got to hear that again. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, man.
History with men, you will see hatred toward men. And it was all orchestrated by the people who brought you here and made you build this country for nothing. I can't say that enough. Let me say that one more time.
Yeah.
Your hatred for your men, sisters, was orchestrated by the people who brought us here and made us build this country for free. You better wake up.
Yeah.
Because motherfuckers are waking up on who you are.
Man, listen.
Don't get it twisted.
We got, hold on.
Most women only bring unsolicited.
Yeah, I think we got what we need from that. So listen, Corey just said a lot with that last piece. I do believe that the way that the black woman, so how do I put this? Okay. Men are leaders, but when it comes to dating, playing the field, courting, choosing, all of these things, we're largely reactive. The reason why we're reactive and not proactive is because oftentimes we would like to get the results. And the results from man to man vary from one to a couple things, right? You either just looking to hit something, you looking, intentionally and shopping for a wife out here in these streets, or you open to either type shit. And then you got the men running around who are practicing they going through their different parts of their journey. I've been celibate before where I was out here in these streets and wasn't looking for nothing. Yeah, I'm focused on something totally different right now. I ain't even looking for nothing. So I've been there. So but from man to man, it's gonna be one of a few things that they looking for from women. You know what I'm saying? And you in one of them categories, depending on where you at in your journey as a man. And I'm saying all that just to say that this is why we're reactive, because we need this thing called consent. We need consent to marry a woman. We need consent to make love to a woman. We need consent. And so because of that, women do kind of hold the ball a little bit until it's time for us to kneel down, or not kneel down, but just propose, because I don't believe in kneeling down. But until it's time to propose, up until that point, they got a lot of control in regards to the intimacy and the things that typically nowadays come before the marriage. So whatever they kind of say they looking for and like, you'll notice we try to become, or we try to check whatever boxes we're capable of checking. The height thing, God got to check that box for you. But when they say they want men to make a certain amount of money, you're seeing people go out here and try to get that bread. Men, by and large in America, due to the economy, but also due to the requests and the requirements of women out here, you're seeing a lot of men working 60 and 70 and 80 hours. That's happening out here. Y'all do y'all own research, So we are reactive. We will try to become what they want because we want them. So I'm saying that to drive home the point here that a lot of the failed families, the failed relationships, the failed marriages, all of the stuff, a lot of that stuff that we see going on, it makes sense that it's not caused by the reactive party. Y'all following me? I'm trying to word this in a way where it doesn't sound harsh, like Corey kind of said it more bluntly than I'm saying, but it's like over the last 50 years, who's changed more when it comes to mentality and thought process in day-to-day life structure? Has it been the black man or the black woman over the last 50 years? What do your average black man want from a woman from 50 years ago and today? The same shit. The same shit. 50 years ago and today, your average black man was working jobs, making money, and providing for themselves. And if they had a family, doing their best to provide for a family. Though 50 years ago, the economy was different and making $60,000 a year could provide for a family of 4. Now you need to make double of that. You need to make double that. Yet the average income is still around 60,000. Nobody wants to consider that though. But yet and still, that about the black man is still the same. 50 years ago, what was the average black woman doing? Working some type of a job, maybe part-time, maybe full-time, but working some type of a job and largely taking care of home. Today, and then what was the desires of the average black woman? What did they want from a man 50 years ago? They wanted a husband. They wanted a husband. If you asked the average woman 50 years ago if they had a burning desire on the inside, even if they could answer it anonymously in secret, if they had a burning desire on the inside to play the field and sleep around with a bunch of guys before they choose that husband that they desire, would they have said yes? On average, 50 years ago, the answer would have been no. In fact, women with those desires were largely frowned upon by other women 50 years ago. What I'm talking about right now is who has changed. The black man 50 years ago, he could get in we can get in a time machine right now. Take me back 50 years ago. All I would have to figure out is how the lingo is and what to put on for clothes. And I would still be in alignment mentally with your average man from 50 years ago, your average brother. I would. You take a woman from now, send her back 50 years ago, tell her what to wear and what the lingo is, and then let her communicate with her sisterhood. On average, you're going to be out of alignment. Get around a group of 50 black women 50 years ago, throw your ass in there talking about liberation, sexual freedom, body count don't matter. All the shit that y'all telling us just to accept, and it's all good, right? Telling these women, fuck them kids, right? All these slogans we use now. Get around a batch of women, your average black women from 50 years ago talking that shit. And they would have looked, you would have had to wear a scarlet letter. It would have been frowned upon. So what I'm asking you is who has changed? I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not placing blame. I'm here to hold a conversation. My biases are with nobody. I want the resolution. So we got to have the hard conversations. Who's changed? The women. The answer to the question, in short, is the women. And then now we have to, okay, change is not always bad. So now let's further the conversation. Has it been for the better? 50 years ago, black people, quote unquote, black people, were the most married people in the country, statistically by percentage. Now, least married. Statistically, the marriage is in by way of the woman filing for the divorce at almost 80%. Who has changed? And was it for the better? Because change ain't always for the worse. Who has changed and was it for the better? That's the conversation that this reaction video should breed. I'm anxious to hear what y'all got to say in the comments about it. I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to further this conversation. This is something that I could continue to express my POV on, but I would feel better gaining a census from the public. Let's take the biases out. I don't care that I'm a man. I don't want to be right. I just want to fix it, right? Who has changed? The same archetypes of black men that are in the streets right now, they existed 50 years ago. You had some niggas that was playing the field and wasn't really serious about nothing. You had some niggas that was very intentional, wanted to get married young or wanted to get married as soon as possible or whenever their bride presented themselves to them in their fucking journey. They've been ready. Marriage-minded men come from structure about that type shit, or they come from no structure and they want to create the structure that they never had. That type of man has always existed. The type of man that's about his bread, all about his bread. Women are secondary for the entirety of their life. That's just how they look at it. Should they have a wife? Cool. Should they not? Cool. That nigga has always existed. All the types of men we got now have always existed. And I would say at the percentage that they've existed. Our numbers ain't even went up and down. It ain't more fuck niggas now than it used to be. It's not. It's not. Show me anything that would, any numbers, statistics, results, or anything like that that points to the fact that there's more fuck niggas than there used to be. It ain't. It's still a small percentage of fuck niggas. Y'all just all sleep with the same little small percentage of them. That's why most baby daddies are baby daddies of 3 and 4 and 5. These niggas is serial baby daddies. Because it's only a few of them y'all giving the cooch to. 80% of men are unattractive to women. Statistically, and it's been studied. Most men are invisible to y'all. So then I could put it back on the men and say, just because you're a part of the 20% of men that most women find attractive, you're generally accepted as an attractive man in public. It doesn't mean you should run through everything. Let's talk to the fellas real quick. That doesn't mean you should run through everything. That's not what that is. That doesn't mean green light, bro. You still need discipline. You still need principles, morals, intentions, purpose. That comes first. I'm not saying don't have your fun. Be a little responsible about it, though. And don't break no hearts. If she know if she want to give you that cat, sometimes you could just tell them that's what you want. You ain't got to play the game. See, that be the thing too. It be dudes out here that are attractive to women, but they don't know how to be a hoe, but they want to be a hoe. So now you out here talking to females like you want to make them your girlfriend because that's the only pathway you know to get to the vagina. And now she think you all in love. So when you dip off, you breaking her heart. When you could have just told her, listen, I want to be physical. I'm not trying to be serious with nothing, nobody. I like you. That's true, but I don't want no relationship. She'll probably still let you do what you need to, what you trying to do, bro. So for the dudes out here that be lying and creating the horror stories that some of these women have, you know, shame on those dudes. We could talk to the fellas too, but let's get back to the question at hand. Over the last 50 years, who's changed? Because our numbers have changed, right? We went from being the most married people in the country to the least married people in the country. So what I'm asking is, who has changed? And do we even care to fix it? Posted a question on TikTok. Yesterday or the day before yesterday. Shit, damn it. I don't know if it's going to go viral or not, but they still commenting. They are pissed. I posted a question. I said, what is the average black woman's American dream? I asked a question. Even admitted that I don't know. I still don't know. After reading all them comments on TikTok, I still don't know. What's the average black woman's American dream? Some sisters was triggered by the fact that there was a question. Why do niggas care? Damn. Some women answered the question. My American dream is this, this, and this. What I didn't find was any consistency. There was no consistency. I can't tell you what most of the answers were. It's not like, oh, most of them said they want a husband. Because the question was, what's the average black woman's American dream? And does it involve a husband? That was the question in 2 parts. All them comments, and I still can't find a general consensus of what it is. But I could tell you what it was 50 years ago. And I can tell you it definitely involved a husband. So who has changed? And if you ask the average black man what his American dream is, and does it involve a wife? I can answer that. Yes, the majority of us are going to say our American dream involves a wife. Now, today in 2025, if you ask that man, does it have to be a black woman? That answer is going to change from what it would have been 50 years ago. That's going to change, but it's reaction, not proaction. That's what I'm telling you. So ladies, before marriage and before sex, y'all got the ball. Y'all using all this freedom to go play with the ball and run through the streets. You removing all the value that we giving y'all. We're reactive to y'all. Niggas been wanting wives, but the women that we wanted to be wives wanted to be hoes for a little bit. So as a reaction, we like, oh well, shit. If they going, then I guess we should just play. Then y'all get to an age where y'all want to be serious, but all of the playing, then we got us some extra players. We got bench players now. 1 baby, 2 babies, 3 babies, 4 babies, 5 babies. And then there's more players, right? Because these babies ain't all necessarily coming from the same pop. 2 baby daddies, 3 baby daddies. Niggas was trying to marry y'all in middle school. Things changed. My folks met when they was 14. They still together. They met when they was 14. They still together. My godparents met when they was juniors in high school. They still together. My grandparents met when they was teenagers. They stayed together till they died. Both sets. But that's because they met. We talking about people that met in the 40s, people that met in the 50s, people that met in the 60s. What's changed? Our desires have changed, y'all. Let's have a real conversation. I'm on that today. Our desires have changed a lot. A lot. If you could take a survey of the average grown-ass woman walking around, and you tell her, this is completely anonymous, write your name nowhere on this paper. Just answer the question. Write your name nowhere. We won't know who answered this. Write your age, write your name. Write your age and write your answer. That's it. Completely anonymous. Have you been, or do you desire to be, a little loose with it at some point in your life, just for a little bit? The majority of them gonna say, yeah, bro. 50 years ago, that wasn't the case. The virgin to get teased in college the way the hoe would have got teased in high school 50 years ago. So tell me who changed. And the thing about us is, as men, we're so reactive. We still gonna go marry y'all. Yup. Seeing it with my own eyes. Seeing it every day. He's still gonna go through holy matrimony with them 126 bodies. He's still gonna marry her. That's how much we love y'all. We still gonna do it. But y'all gotta ask yourself, who changed and was it for the better? And if the way it used to be was too unevenly balanced, ladies, I fuck with you. But the way it is now, is that the fix? Or should we be finding somewhere in the middle? Because maybe it's a little overcompensation happening. Because niggas is checking out. They going to get Mexicans. They going to get Puerto Ricans. They going to get Caucasians. They going to get Filipinos. They going to get Africans. Niggas is checking out. And I don't, and this the real shit right here. I don't care how long a person scream, I'm cool if I don't have nobody. I'm cool. I don't care how long you scream that shit, champ. I done been in a situation where I wanted love and didn't have it at the time for whatever reason. You understand me? I know what 2 a.m. lonely feel like. Y'all niggas don't want to have no real conversation. You know what 2 a.m. lonely feel like? Okay, if you know what 2 a.m. lonely feel like, don't nobody want to die or get old alone. Stop the cap. Them dogs, the poodles, the lizards, the fish tank, none of that shit enough. Stop the fucking cap. We on that tonight. Let's talk some real shit this afternoon. Huh? So who's changed? Huh? Okay then. So we're gonna move off this one. I just can't wait to see the comments. I can't wait to see what y'all say in regards to this one, because it's a great talking point. And I think it's one of the tough conversations that we have to have in order to be progressive as a community of people. Because one thing for sure is black women by and large like black men, and black men by and large like black women. Black men who are married to 85% black women. And then out of the 15%, only 7% of black men are married to Caucasian women. The other 8% are still married to melanated women who are just non-black. So understand, we like it copper colored, baby. We ain't giving up on y'all, but we got to talk. Souls of Thought says, I feel women tolerated more to build 50 years ago than today. Social media has given women a false reality. Perfect example, Beyonce stayed when her husband, with her husband when he stepped out. Cardi stayed multiple times. Absolutely. Because there's the internet and then there's real life. And we gotta get away from people taking their internet vibes out into the real shit. Because you're not gonna find that in reality. They done turned this shit into Ready Player One on y'all. Go watch the movie Ready Player One if you haven't seen it, so you know what I'm talking about. They done turned this shit into Ready Player One. Motherfuckers just rush to be on their devices to live through the device. What about real life? What about it? I know my parents wouldn't have made it all these years without being real fucking listic. Or my grandparents or my godparents or my aunties and them. All I know is marriages. That's all we know. But it's gonna take some. You can't just be out here thinking shit gonna be sweet. That shit ain't gonna work. But let's move off of this one, man. Let's go. Let's get off here into something fun.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart and now hardened